Hi guys, my name is Joe Gannon and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this video today is the first of my LinkedIn Crash Course series. It's a 10-part video series helping you to create content on LinkedIn. And if you've stumbled across this video and you didn't realize this was a crash course, the link is in the description box and definitely check out those videos. We talk about the algorithm, how frequently you should post on LinkedIn, and how to optimize your content. I really hope it's a useful resource for you, and I wanted to make this crash course about LinkedIn on YouTube so it's accessible for everybody. How can you optimize something if you're not sure what you're optimizing it for? It's first important to understand why. Once you understand your why and your purpose for creating on the platform, this will really kind of be a guiding light for everything else that you do. So for example, you could be using LinkedIn to get a job, you could be using LinkedIn to direct message people and to pull in opportunities, or you could be using LinkedIn to start to create content, which I will definitely be talking about throughout the video series. Don't spend too long worrying about your purpose, because of course this can change over time. You just need to have your why set in place at the start. Let's just say you're using LinkedIn to optimize it as a content creator, and then you can start to look at your profile, how often you're posting, and you can start to have a strategy underneath that. Once you know your why, everything starts to become more sustainable. You have a reason for showing up every day, and as we all know, results really do come over the long term. You don't want to start creating content for 2 weeks, posting every single day, and then you burn out and you're not seen for a couple of months' time. It's much better to outline a strategy, like how often you're going to post, how often you're going to reach out to other people for collaborations and just to message them. And once you have that set in place and it's sustainable every single week, and that's when you'll start to see results, because before you know it, a couple of months will go past and you would have been putting in the work and showing up every single day. So this video is about why you should create content on LinkedIn. But before I go into it, if anybody's a new creator and they're looking to start, I want to just kind of give you a caveat. So we all start with 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 shares, and that's important to remember, because we can all feel that fear of posting, and usually that stops people from actually putting themselves out there. So give yourself permission to put some content out there which doesn't look great. Give yourself permission to maybe get only a couple of likes on your first video, your first text post. Is absolutely fine. Every single person that you admire has started from the same position. The most important thing is just to start. Now, to help you get over that fear, I'll include the first video I posted to LinkedIn in the description box, which is definitely embarrassing. It was literally a video about shooting a video. So I did a video saying, I've wanted to create content on LinkedIn for 2 years now. Here's my first video, and that's literally all I said. So you can't get a worse video than that. But what actually happened was people rallied around that. They saw that I was putting myself out there, and I actually got a lot of confidence from it. I got lots of nice messages and it made me feel good. And before I know it, my second post happened and my third post happened. So I really want you guys to understand, if you're creating content on LinkedIn and you're just starting, it's going to be a long journey. The actual hardest step is the one you're doing now, which is actually starting. So I started to create content on LinkedIn about 2 years ago. So throughout my time at university, I was realizing that LinkedIn was bringing out all these new features, like the ability to post videos. And I was seeing that people's posts were actually going really far, because LinkedIn has only recently become a content platform after being acquired by Microsoft in 2016. So you've all heard of LinkedIn potentially being the professional platform. It's just for recruiters. Potentially you only have a profile when you need to get a job. But it's actually changing. And when I started to see this play out, it actually took me 2 years to shoot my first video. So actually think about that. So my first year of university, I had the idea. I was seeing people create videos and posting about their experiences and just their thoughts throughout the week. And I thought I can see the benefit to that and I'd like to do that myself, but I didn't have the confidence. And then in my first job after university, which is actually 2 years later, I finally put myself out there and posted a video. We're typically all perfectionists, so we want to post the most perfect video before we put ourselves out there, and it's just not going to happen. I actually shot my video in portrait mode, and what I realized straight away is when you upload a video in portrait mode, you get black bars either side. So that's a really good example of the fact that you might try and create the perfect video, but things actually present themselves after the events, after you put themselves out there. And I'm really glad that I'm myself testing this sort of muscle, and I'm growing that muscle, and I'm getting over the fear of posting, of putting myself out there. Because that's all it is. Creating content on LinkedIn, creating content on any other platform, setting up your phone and recording a video, it's just confidence. And once you start to develop confidence, that's going to really help you in so many areas of your life. So let's identify your why for creating content on LinkedIn. So there's lots of different reasons why you might create content on LinkedIn. The first might be that you're looking to get a job. So if you're posting content and you're putting yourself out there, you're engaging on other people's posts, you're identifying companies on LinkedIn that you'd love to work for. You're finding, for example, the head of marketing, you're building up a relationship with the head of marketing at your dream company, you're chatting to them over direct message and you line up a phone call. A great book about this is The Third Door. So this book talks about unconventional ways of kind of creating opportunities for yourself. So typically everybody to get a job just applies in the typical ways, and that's what 99% of people do, which which is why when you go for a job, you can have hundreds or 200 people all applying for this one position, and it's just a numbers game. You could be the best candidate, but for whatever reason, you don't get the job. So I'm so passionate about using platforms like LinkedIn because you're literally one message away from anybody. So for my short time of being on the platform, my last full-time job was actually from LinkedIn. So I had a conversation with someone, I went to meet them, and they actually offered me a job the following Monday, which is quite bizarre. Since I've had recruiters and other people messaging me asking about my situation, and I've also had formal job kind of invites on the platform as well. So after leaving university, I was looking to get marketing experience. So I used LinkedIn to reach out to people. And quite honestly, I went onto Google, I typed in marketing, I typed in my location, and I saw on Google all of the marketing companies around me. And then what I did, I went onto their website, I went onto their Meet the Team section, and I found the name of the founder, the director, or the CEO. Then I jumped into LinkedIn, I typed in their name and the company, and I dropped them a direct message being enthusiastic and explaining my situation and how I'd love to get experience with them. This led to loads of internships, and since then, my last full-time job was from LinkedIn, and I've been able to collaborate and meet some really interesting people simply from putting myself out there. There's so much opportunity for you out there on LinkedIn. Anybody creating content on LinkedIn can get their content in front of other people outside of their audience really easily in comparison to other platforms. I'll go into more detail about that, but simply if you're showing up and engaging around the platform, your name, your profile is going to be visible for a lot of people. And then if your profile is optimized to get a job, you've got your CV, which is a downloadable link. Those profile views are going to mean people are actually learning about you and learning about your situation. So LinkedIn is great for networking, but that doesn't mean the kind of conventional route of going to an event when you know nobody, kind of standing there awkwardly with a drink and you've got your little name tag and you kind of just stand there and talk to 1 to 2 people. You can literally network by messaging anybody on the platform. So my kind of favorite example of this is when I started to create content on LinkedIn, I identified that, Gymshark are really kind of up and coming, interesting company to work for in terms of social media. They're one of the most exciting companies that you could work for. And then this year I was learning about the importance of mentorship. So I actually went onto LinkedIn and I found out who is the head of social media at Gymshark. And I kind of thought about how I could message him, and I reached out to him, we built a relationship, and he actually offered me to go down to the Gymshark HQ, and he said that he would mentor me. This is a great example of what you can actually do for yourself, and you really are just one message away. Unfortunately, with that example, the coronavirus happened, and I haven't actually been able to go down to the HQ yet, but hopefully that still will happen. So LinkedIn and TikTok have the best organic reach right now across all the social media platforms. Organic reach can be defined as your content being seen to other people without you actually putting money behind it. So in contrast, you've got organic reach, you've got paid reach. So paid reach is when you pay with ads to distribute your content to new people. So organic reach is free. Now every platform as they grow start with high organic reach, and as more people go onto the platform, it starts to decrease because there's more content on the feeds and there's more competition. LinkedIn and TikTok are growing rapidly. So right now on LinkedIn, if you post content, you're encouraged to post because LinkedIn want more and more people to come to the platform and to use it. So you can put out a post with 100 connections and it can be seen by 1,000, 2,000 people. Just think about what that means. So you can literally write a post which takes you 5 minutes and 2,000 people could see that post. And this is exactly what happened with my first video. So my first video got 4,000 views. And it blew my mind. Yes, it did take me 20 takes, but it was a 60-second video and 4,000 people saw it. So just think about that. If you're documenting your journey, the things that are on your mind and your expertise, you can pull in opportunities for you. Only 1 to 2% of users on LinkedIn actually create content. So that's why right now, if you start, you'd be an early adopter. There are so many examples of people being early adopters and creating unbelievable success for themselves. A great example is you've got like TikTok stars. You've got people who were not known at all and they started to post videos, they started to get known because they're funny or whatever. They're literally creating careers for themselves. The same is on every platform. One of my favorite examples is Social Chain, the social media agency in Manchester. So Social Chain actually started when Twitter was up and coming as a platform. They realized an opportunity on Twitter, and they basically realized they could get anything to trend on Twitter by having lots of different accounts to talk about it at the same time. This led to them being approached by an app who wanted to get brand awareness. They wanted to get downloads. So Social Chain started by having all these different accounts on Twitter with large followings, and then they all promoted an app at the same time. They all said, don't download this app to their audiences. And what that actually meant was, obviously everyone goes to the app store, everyone wants to find out what that app was, and before they know it, that app was trending worldwide on Twitter. Social Chain were then able to go to businesses and brands to say, we can get your product or service trending on Twitter. That's how they started. And now fast forward a couple of years, they're a public company and they've won so many awards because they realized an opportunity on one social media platform. They built an audience and became known for something, and they were able to expand onto other platforms, and the CEO was able to grow a personal brand. He was able to kind of create a team around him to create content, recording his every move, and it completely expanded out to what they started on. When you're an early adopter and you focus on one platform, you focus on doing one certain type of video, you focus on the niche audience, you can really become known and have a really engaged audience. Then over time, you can collaborate and you can grow that and expand into other things that you'd also like to talk about. So being an early adopter is really identifying the low-hanging fruit. And for you right now, that is LinkedIn. My third reason why you should create content on LinkedIn is to learn from other people. So when I started being on the platform, like I said, I just wanted to learn from others. So whenever I came across content I really enjoyed, I'd leave a comment, I'd send them a message and tell them that I enjoyed the content. And I was starting to surround myself with people with 10 years marketing experience, 20 years marketing experience, some people who are creating content, entrepreneurs, business owners, and thought leaders were all just a message away. So every time I log into LinkedIn, and this has been the case for the last 2 years, it's a positive platform. LinkedIn is a really positive community because everybody's on there to learn, to upskill themselves, or to get an opportunity for themselves. So everybody's kind of on there for the right reasons, and that's why you can learn from other people. My last reason on why you should create content on LinkedIn is thought leadership. By creating content consistently, educating your audience about your product or your service, you can quickly become a thought leader in your industry. So again, if you're showing up regularly and lots of people are seeing your content because you're posting high volume, high quality content, people are going to start to position you as an expert in your industry. Yes, this is a long-term game. Yes, you do have to create lots of content over months and not just a couple of days, but it's so worth it. And that goes into building up a personal brand, becoming known for something. So when somebody is in a position to buy a website, for example, when you've been creating content for months about how to improve your website, you're going to be the first person that comes to mind. And this is useful across the board. So there's so many reasons why you should create content on LinkedIn. We've talking about being an early adopter, so creating content with this low hanging fruit, it's a really good opportunity to be on the platform. We've also talking about how to get a job, so how to reach out to high flyers in the industry, reach out to your favorite content creators, and also actually message people directly about work experience or potentially internships or full-time jobs. And lastly, we've spoken about how to learn from other people and how to display thought leadership. So how to become known for something where you're planting seeds on the platform where it's going to be really fruitful. So really hope this video has given you examples on why you should create content, and it might become a bit more clearer for you now about what your purpose or your why might be. So maybe it is to get a job, maybe it's to get work experience, maybe it's to start to be a content creator and to put yourself out there more and to build confidence. Whatever your reason is, I hope hearing these examples has been a good exercise for you and will help to carry you through the rest of this crash course. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it's a bit clearer for you now about why you should create content on LinkedIn. So the second video of my crash course series is about how to optimize your profile. Now you know your why, it's going to be a lot easier to actually optimize your profile to start to get results. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget the link to the full crash course is in the description box. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave this a like or a comment, and if you're not already, please subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications for when I first release my videos. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.